Hello and welcome to the Musicians Marketing Academy, 3 E's of a Successful Website, Part 1, Engage. Today we're going to be talking about, in this first part anyway, we're going to be talking about what are some of the elements that you need on your musician website to attract and engage visitors and keep them on your site. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. So who am I? I'm Kenya Moses, and I'm the founder of the Musicians Marketing Academy. I'm also the founder of a marketing firm in the San Francisco Bay Area called Conscious Mark, where I help professional performing artists, musicians, dancers, and nonprofit arts organizations with their marketing strategy. I'm also a professional vocalist, a certified life and business coach, mother of 2, and so much more that we just don't have time for today. I've been featured in a variety of publications, including Thrive Global, Essence Magazine, eHow Live Strong, and a number of podcasts. So enough about me. Let's just jump right into this. So we're going to have this in 3 parts. This is part 1. This is where you are, and this is E is for engage. Now, in part 1, we're going to talk about using video that tells a story, creating valuable content, and content placement. So this is going to be really important to engage your audience when they're coming to your site and you want them to do something. All right, so first and foremost, it's like, it's 2022. Why do I even need a website? Now, as not just a marketer, but as a professional musician, I can tell you having a website is really important. And I know it seems like, oh, it's too much work to put that in there. And some people just slap up something with a picture and call it a day and say, that's my website. Well, unfortunately, you can't do that. Why can you not do that? Well, let's look at some stats here. 30% of the people, venues, bookers, organizers, they will not hire you if you don't have a website. Then there's 63% of those people will review your website before they even make contact with you. And then 75% will judge your website. And based on their judgment of your website, they will decide whether or not they want to reach out and book you. So like we said, you never have a chance to make a first impression. You never have the chance to make another first impression. And this is very true about websites, because people who are going to want to hire you for a gig, private, public, whatever the gig is, they're going to want to come to a space where you have all of your information, you have samples of your music, you have samples of different events that you've gigged at. They're going to want to know what you're all about. And if you don't have that, no one is going to spend the time to email back and forth to get information from you. So why is it important? Because that is basically it's your homepage. It's your musical life wrapped up in a bow in one central location where the people you want to book you are going to go and get that information. Now, you have a website, okay? So how do you effectively engage with your visitors? There's certain elements on a website that you just need to have. And this is, 2022. And so, we are heavy on video. So the first thing that you want is you want some video content, and not just any video content. You want video on your home page. Okay. And then you want eye-catching images. You want to make sure you're giving them a call to action. You want to have them do something, right? So in order for them to do something, you need to tell them what to do, and you want to give them something in exchange. So you want to make an offer. And then lastly, you want to, I call it pop it up. So, you've heard about newsletters and all of that. And a great way to keep visitors on your page and from leaving is having a pop-up. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So the end game here is that we don't want to give our visitors a reason to jump off our page within the first 3 seconds, which happens more often than not. So the first thing we talked about is video on the homepage. Now here you can see this is a website, the homepage of a jazz vocalist, Tiffany Austin. Now you look at her webpage, and the very first thing you see is a video. Right? And on this video, it's basically a reel of an upcoming album. So if you are looking to book her, one, you hear her sound, you see what she looks like, you see her, how she moves, what's her presence like. That is number one. People, before they probably don't need to go through the rest of the site to see who she is and what she's about, because you've already presented that to her audience, right? So we want to make sure that when we're putting video on the homepage, we want to make it meaningful. We want to share an announcement. So if there's something special going on, if you're going to be headlining some big festival, you might want to do that. A welcome video, welcoming people to the site. You kind of think of it as a sizzle wheel, so the wheels, reel, so those kind of go together. A welcome video can be a sizzle reel, where you say, welcome, thank you for coming to my website. I provide this, that, and the other. Here's some samples of my work. You can do that. And then you can also have your latest gig footage, right? So if you just had an amazing, amazing concert and you have video footage of that, you can also have that on the website. So next up is having eye-catching images that make sense. Okay, so every image on your website should have a purpose. If it doesn't relate to your music, it doesn't belong on your site. And I know we want to put up photos of cats and all of that, but unless it pertains to your music, unless it pertains to your brand, you don't want to have it. So if you have some high resolution, very high quality photos of you when you're performing, flyers, things like that pertain to an event or what you can do for your audience, that is what you want to have on your site. Now next, remember I was saying about a call to action, making an offer? Okay, so, this is real estate. This is your real estate. So you can pretty much share whatever you want, but in order to keep someone on your site or go to the next step in the process, so they come to their website and perhaps they don't book you for a gig, but what's the best next thing that you can get from them? If they don't download something, or what can you get from them? Their email address, right? And so their email address is like the gates, the keys to the gates, right? So when you have someone's email address, that means they have given you permission to communicate with them. So now that you can tell them when your next gigs are, you can tell them what kind of opportunities they have to work with you, so on and so forth. So in exchange for their email address, you want to give them something. So here are some ideas for you. You can think about this. You can offer a free download. So if you just wrote a new song and maybe it's not public, it's something secret, hush hush, but it's something that you might want to share, it's an uncut version, or even it's a song off of your newest album. You're going to offer that to them in exchange for their email address. Or you can decide, if you sign up for my email list, you become an insider. So you get all the latest insights and you get the first to know about new merch. You get the first to know about my upcoming tour dates, all of that. So you want to give them something in exchange. So, and speaking of merchandise, you can say, hey, you know what? I've got these free buttons. You sign up for my email and you get a free button, or whatever it is. It has to make sense to you financially, of course, but just giving you some ideas of what you can offer to your audience. Okay, so we've got free downloads, subscriber insiders, free or discounted merch. So that also goes for coupons, sending them a coupon in your email. And in part 2, we're going to talk a little bit more about creating a welcome series and how we're going to nourish and nurture that relationship so that they continue to, 1, open your emails, and 2, lead them to coming to a concert, purchasing, downloading an album, or anything like that, whatever your call to action is. Okay, and then we talked about the pop-up, right? So when strategically delivered, you can have a pop-up, whether it's say, hey, don't leave. I've got this, free piece of merch for you. Just put in your email address, or, you want to grab their attention and say, hey, don't leave yet. I have something valuable for you. And that's the most important thing you want to think about when you're building out your website. How do I make things valuable, right? Because websites are a dime a dozen. You want to stand out. You want to be special so that when a booking agent is reaching out to you, they're like, hey, actually, I do want to get on your mailing list. I want to know what's going on. So I may not be able to book you now, but you know what? I want to know what's going on in your world, right? So that pop-up is going to give them an opportunity to reconsider their actions of leaving your site, okay? So, short and sweet, what did you think? If you build it, how do you make them stay? That's what we're going to talk about in our next video in part 2. So I hope that you are able to join me. I'm Kenya Moses, the founder of the Musicians Marketing Academy. Please, if you want to have more content, visit us at musiciansmarketingacademy.com and learn everything that you need to know about growing your music business, business development, branding, marketing, getting those gigs, all the things. So I hope you join me. Thank you so much. Have a great one.